everyone, how are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. Thank you for joining me again. I'm in the front room surrounded by stuff that's ready to go in the car for Overlord in Abingdon this weekend, which was last weekend. So if you saw us on Sunday, it will have been nice to have been there, nice to have seen you, to see you, nice, something like that. Anyway, I'm packed, well, I'm not packed, I haven't put them in the car yet. I'm a bit worried about how my little engine is going to cope with all of this weight in the back, because I haven't taken this car to a proper show for a while, or ever. So yeah, that'll be fun experience. Never mind, not too far to go for me this time. So this is my big stand. This is the top of it, and it sits on top of here. You'll probably have seen this before if you've been following the videos over the last couple of years. You'll remember that this normally lives out in the shed. And has all of my stock in it, so that when I get an order I can just go and pick it off here. But in actual fact, over the winter I tend to have most of my stock in big metal boxes that my mother-in-law got. She used to be a brain surgery nurse, and she's got these big stainless steel medical boxes, and I use those to keep the stuff in and also to transport it to shows when I take those to shows. As well, but I keep those in my studio over the winter because I don't want to go out in the cold and the wet and the dark after work to trudge across the garden to the shed to try and find, you know, a gnome or something to put in the post for somebody. I'd rather go up to my nice warm bright studio and pick it out of a box while the weather is horrible, but the weather's getting better, so this has been a good opportunity to restock these. These were pretty bare over winter, and I've now taken the opportunity to change the order around a bit and put some new stock in bags and get those up. So I just tell you a few things about how I lay this stand out, because it is something that I'm still playing with. After a few years of doing it, there are some things that you pick up. Sort of shop selly things, you know. It's important what your eye goes to first when you're buying things. That's a shop trick, you know. We are about selling things. I know we're about the hobby and we're about, you know, producing cool things that hopefully people will want and not charging ridiculous prices for them. But ultimately, in order to survive, we need to keep selling things. So we do need to sell things. So it's all about where your eye goes. And Mike, who you'll have heard me mention a few times, who I'm travelling with on Sunday, he knows these things. So he's been giving me some tips over the last few shows that we've done together. So I have decided for this show to prioritise my folky type models. So at the top here I've got my pixies, I've got my leprechauns, and I've got the sort of treeman type things that do, and the Yaltog and the Glaistig are up the top here, because that is the top level. Top left is probably what people see most. The pixies are top left. They're always a good seller at shows, so they're going top left to draw the eye in. But I want to make it very clear now that Oakbound is about doing the folky miniatures. Yes, we've got the generic, you know, fantasy type figures that are useful in other ranges as well, but I think the time is right that Oakbound became more clear about its individual status, you know, not just being another seller of generic fantasy figures. We want to be very obviously a folky kind of range. So that's why I put all of my folky stuff up to the top, because it's a bit different, and hopefully it will grab the eye because it's a bit different, and people who are into the folky stuff will see it and go, wow, oh yeah, I like that, good, and hopefully look at the rest of the cabinet, and people who aren't will browse on past. But that's fine, because you know, we're a niche within a niche, and we want to be attracting the people who are in the niche that we're in the niche of. I don't want a bunch of Space Marine players stood in front of this for 20 minutes trying to find something that they like the look of, when, you know, a dozen people who are actually interested in this stuff will have then walked past because they couldn't get near to the cabinet. So I want to try and get the right people in from the start. Then I've got my rat guys, then my Miri are down there, and then this is the lower part of the cabinet. Goblins and gnomes are down the bottom. Gnomes are down the bottom because gnomes are our least successful sellers currently, and I guess the reason for that is that they're viewed as the least attractive or least useful miniatures. So while I do want to carry on promoting them and pushing them, there is no point putting them, excuse me, in a more visible position if they're not going to make people carry on looking down the cabinet. So for the moment they're relegated down to the bottom here. Now when I've been to shows previously, I've had this cabinet, and then I've had this other cabinet that you can see behind me with another cabinet on top of it, so it's all floor to top to try and maximise the amount of usable space. What I have found though is that actually getting down to the lower levels is quite difficult for some people. So what I'm going to try and do this weekend at Overlord is use a table and raise this unit up and put it on top of the table. I'm not taking the other concertinaed unit this time round, partly because this is a new show, I don't know quite what the layout is, and partly because I can fit pretty much everything that I want on these two units. I'm not taking Dreamstone stuff, I'm not taking any other additional miniatures lines, so everything fits quite neatly on these two units. But yeah, I'm going to put that on the table so that hopefully it's a bit more at eye level, people can see a bit more easily what's on there, and if that works then at Salute, that's what I will do. I will have this unit one side, I'll have the book unit the other side, I'll have this unit and the concertina unit on the table, which will give me a very narrow window to be selling in between. And I've avoided it previously because I don't want people to feel like hemmed in. I want to try and get more than one person at a time into the stand, but I also don't want to pay stupid money for a second 6-foot pitch when I'm not going to do twice as much business on a double-sized pitch. But I think the extra visibility will be good for that, so that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try it this weekend. If it works, then that'll be good for Salute. What I have got on this unit here now is my boxes, my nice hanging boxes that I got last year to make everything look fancy and shiny and well packaged. Those I was putting on the hangers. I bought a bunch more of these because I wasn't sure how many I needed. I don't think I needed to buy any more of these. I've got loads of these sort of single hanging hooks. But these hanging hooks are on here, and actually I need to go around with some double-sided tape and fix some of them back into position so that they're not flopping all over the place when I put this in the car. But these hanging hooks, I can fit 3 or 4 regular miniature packs, these grip seal bags. I can hang those on here, that's fine, and they all fit within the profile of the cabinet, and it's not too deep, and quite honestly the turnover is not so high that I'm going to get through 4 and need to be changing it every minute. I might need to restock a couple of these once a day during the selling, and that will be fine. But they're no good for the hanging boxes, partly because certainly something like the Tyrants from the tour, they're big heavy models, although they have this Euro slot on top, has this little circular bit in the middle which fits fine in there. That's an awful lot of weight sometimes to be putting on that point, and this double duck card bit can get a bit ripped and torn and battered, and the box doesn't look so great. So I wanted to get some that had the full width prong, but then it would be supported in 2 positions across there, and hopefully it will hang a lot more sturdy and a lot straighter on the shelf or on the rack. But also, if I have these short hooks, I can fit 1 on there, and I don't really want to have just a long single prong to support 2 of them, so I decided to go for these big long. Oh, this is a fascinating video, isn't it? I bet you're glad you turned into this video. We're talking about shop fittings. These big long double prong things, and then I can fit two. I can actually fit 3 boxes on here, but I think 2 is probably what I'm going to go for. Otherwise, they project a little bit far out from this container, from this shelf. And now these will have to be removed before the show to transport, because I've designed everything to fold up flat with these in place, and the extra long prongs stop them from folding. But it's not too much hassle to put. I think there are 22 boxes to go on, and that's easy. I can do that in the morning of the show. That's not a problem. So I've tested all of the electrics in here, and everything is working. So that's good. I bought a new battery. This is the battery that powers my stand. This is it's a golf cart buggy, or a mobility scooter buggy. Mobility scooter battery, sorry. And I charged that up, and this is an 8 amp hour. The other one, I had one of these back before lockdown, and it would have been Beachhead just before lockdown, and that drained the battery, and then I unpacked everything and put it in the shed and forgot about it. And over lockdown, of course, there wasn't anything, so it sat for over a year in the shed, drained, and that was really bad for it. It lost all of its ability to charge pretty much. So that now has, I get about an hour and a half, 2 hours out of that one. So this new fresh one is lasting 8 hours plus currently, which is good. And the advice is, if you have these batteries, as soon as you've finished with them, charge them up again. Because they last fine if they're stored fully charged, but if you store them empty or partially empty, you're never going to regain the charge on them if they get cold. So anyway, these now live in my studio, and they'll go on charge as soon as they come back and get charged back up. I'm only going to take one this weekend. When it comes to Salute, I might take the other as a backup just in case I need a bit of extra power, but this one should be absolutely fine. It's a very new battery. So I've got that, all these new and exciting things, batteries, hanging pieces. I've redone some of the little acrylic stands that go in here that have the, because I have a colour-coded price system on here, they have the colour code of the things and the names of the miniatures as well. What I was doing was just putting the miniature in the box and then putting a sticky label on each of the bags, and that was taking time putting the sticky labels with the colours on all of the bags, when actually I just need to indicate above because I know what the prices are. It's just other people need to know what the prices are. But I found that putting them on a little stand inside the display with the name of it underneath also helped draw people into the world. They might spot something and then ask, what is it, what's this figure, or something that's not so obvious. Perhaps they'll see it and go, oh, that's what it's supposed to be. So yeah, I found the naming help, but I've redone the colour scheme. I did that before the last Salute. Previously, I had greens were £3, reds were £5, yellows were £8, and I really liked that colour scheme, but it was difficult with the green-red colourblind thing, and I wanted to make it, fairly easily accessible for other people. There's a fair difference between the £3 and the £8 packs. You can probably spot the difference between those, but sometimes between the 3 and 5 there's a little bit of a fine line or a bit of uncertainty, so I wanted those to be really clear. So I've now gone to £3 being blue. I've still got a green. £1 is green, and there are a few things on the stand that are £1, but that used to be things like dice bags and things that I'm not selling anymore, so there's very, very few things. Blue is £3, red is £5, and yellow is still £8. So I've just changed the £3 out, but it does mean that the cabinets now have a lot of blue and yellow in, which is not, although I like, green is my favourite colour, I like green, but the blue and yellow, I'm not so keen on that combination of colours. I don't really like it, but it's that balance between it being easy to see and it looking nice. So anyway, that's that. The other thing that I have done is I have packed my miniatures ready to go. Now, I have made another big decision, and my big decision now is that my oak-bound figures are going to live in this case. I just yesterday laser cut a bunch of foam inserts, and I'm not going to tip this up because it will go everywhere, but there's 3 rows of foam inserts in this box, and I think I could probably fit another one in the lid, but I'm a bit dubious about doing that because I don't want to open the lid and everything to fall out, so I might play with that afterwards. But at the moment all of my oak-bound stuff fits in one of these. That's not true actually, because my wood elves and my hobgoblins and my yes, that's it. Yeah, my wood elves and my hobgoblins are on shelves with my armies. But anyway, all of the miniatures that were in a cabinet together as oak-bound miniatures formally fit in that box. 2 of these, and I've got this larger box for the bigger figures. I thought, do I need to take that to Overlord? I don't know. I'll have a look. But it was really nice having figures that I had sculpted and I had painted up on the wall in the studio. That was very nice, very satisfying. But in actuality, they come out to play occasionally, but not very often. Mostly I'm packing and unpacking them to take them to shows, and mostly I'm taking the same figures to the same shows. So I thought, you know what, they're going to get less damaged, the paint's going to get less chipped, they're going to stay looking nice if they're in a case all the time, and then I can just pick it up and go to a show with it and I know what's in it. So that's my new decision. I'm going to free up the cabinets. They've already got other things in because my cabinets are so full that any bit of sort of breathing space is good. It helps the figures spread a bit and they look nicer when they're spread out rather than clustered in together. So try and spread them out a bit. So they've already got other things in, they've already been replaced, but oak-bound stuff is now living in that box, and I will take that box whenever I go somewhere to play games. I had a bit of a flap because somehow between Beachhead and now I had misplaced my my float that I take around. So I thought, I'm going to have to take entirely digital payments on my new Zettel, because I was taking PayPal Here payments on my PayPal Here reader, and they've discontinued PayPal Here now, or they are discontinuing. So I had to get a Zettel reader and go over to Zettel. It's still PayPal. It's just got a less attractive. I don't like it now. The PayPal Here ones are all really nice and curvy. These ones look blocky and I don't know, Fisher Price my first calculator, but never mind. It does. Oh, I say it does. I haven't actually taken a payment with it yet, so we'll see if it does what it says on the tin it's supposed to. But anyway, so I thought I was going to have to take entirely electronic payments, but I did last night manage to find it. It had fallen out behind another box in the studio, so I did manage to find that. So we're all good to go for Overlord on Sunday. I mentioned very briefly Hobgoblins there. The Hobgoblin Kickstarter is still on for the rest of this week. It's going really well. It started, I mean, you know, yeah, I'm in advance of when this video is going out, but it's already, you know, well above where I thought it might settle, and the stretch goal has been met. So that's all looking like it's going to be a lot of casting for me to do at the end of this month, which is great. I'm hoping to get all of that done, all of the casting for that Kickstarter sorted and everything shipped in time for Salute, so that people can pick up from Salute, but also so I can have those some of those Hobgoblin packs on sale there as well. But we don't know, we'll see how long it takes to cast and how many further orders come in. But do check out the Hobgoblins of the Black Waste on Kickstarter. That's it's going nicely, and the stretch goal has been unlocked, which is this big sort of siege tower thing pulled by two troll ogre things, yeah, that you can mount your hobgoblins on, and that's I'm casting that up as I speak. The moulds are in progress, so that'll be coming out soon, but that's unlocked and you can add that onto your pledge as well. So if you are going to Overlord, if you have gone to Overlord, it was nice to be seeing you on Sunday. weird time dilation things. Anyway, it'd be nice to see you. And if not, if you're going to Salute, it'd be nice to see you at Salute. And hopefully the stand will be looking all bright and shiny. And you will enjoy what you see, and it'll be nice talking to you. And if not, maybe we will cross paths some other time. But certainly you can join me here next week for another video. So thank you for joining me, and take care. I shall see you again.